Welcome to the Married AF podcast, the self-proclaimed greatest marriage and relationship podcast in the world. We're your hosts, Matthew and blah, 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 blah. Obviously, I can't speak today. Matthew and Monica Powers.
You forgot
episode
our names.
114. I guess I'm just a little flustered because of what we're talking about
You're just all
today.
excited for
Maybe I'm just a little excited for what we're
Today's-
talking about today. Can you blame me?
Well, no.
Not necessarily. So we'll get right into it. We won't hold anything hostage and we'll jump right into it. Because here's my thought. Most people would think to have the best sex possible, the most adventurous sex possible, takes a little risk, spontaneity, little fantasies, to be a little wild, be a little chaos sometimes, just all this over-the-top passion. And people would believe that that is the key to have great sex.
That tells me that they've never really had great sex.
But it is not. I want to talk about today the key to having the best sex possible are none of those things, but it is in fact trust that allows you to have the best sex you could ever possibly have. The most satisfied couples, the most sexually adventurous couples are the ones who fully trust each other 100%, and they trust each other more than anything else.
Okay.
And I want to tap into that today because I believe that some people are not being able to fully experience what sex is between a married couple in the way that it should be. Because there's the old saying and the old thought, well, you got married, you'll never have sex ever again.
I don't understand that.
I don't either, because I want to try and break some of that today and hopefully lead some people to maybe change some habits and change some thought process to not go from this obligatory, just run-of-the-mill, regular sex that we have to have mind-blowing, out-of-this-world sex that they did not think was even possible. And I think it all happens with trust.
Welcome to Married AF.
Welcome to Married AF. This is something we have to talk about. We just have to talk about this stuff because it's something that's on people's minds all the time. So we need to talk about it. So the first thing is to kind of tear down this idea of what culture sells us with sex, because culture will sell the passion and the spontaneity, and they show it in the movies and on TV, and that this is what sex is supposed to be like. It's a little dangerous, it's a little adventurous, and that's where the passion comes from. That's why it's so intense and it's so incredible, because maybe there's a little edge of uncertainty that gets you there. It can be a little risky at times, and that's what makes it so exciting and so passionate. But that is
What
just
movies are you
not
watching?
the case. It's in every movie now. I don't watch a whole lot of movies anymore.
I know,
but it's in all sorts of movies. Sex is everywhere you look.
Well, yes,
You
sex
can't get
sells
away
and the
from
whole
it.
world is buying.
Yes, and so what the people and what they're selling us is that it takes A, B, C, and D to be able to have an experience like we're magically putting on the screen. And the biggest thing is we need to let people know that that is not the case at all. That excitement and satisfaction are two different things. Exciting is exciting and it's there for the moment and then it's gone. But satisfaction is something that takes you through it all. To have long-term satisfaction, that's the thing that we're going for.
Yes, not Bridgerton sex.
No, that's awful. Bridgerton sex is so bad. I'm sorry.
But
it's so bad.
okay, pause there.
I will.
People love it. People love the show. I like the show. There is a lot of sex. But I've also heard the reason why a lot of women like the show is because of the sex scenes. Because they think it's passionate and it's wild. And when I hear those things, all my brain goes is, yikes. You're a married woman. Why is your sex life
more boring than Bridgerton? I've seen Bridgerton.
I don't think it's exciting.
No, it's not.
But maybe
At
that's
all.
because we have trust and good sex.
I think that's the whole reason for it, is for the trust that we have for one another. And that's what I want people to be able to unlock.
And the 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes.
That was mommy porn
Oh, totally mommy porn.
And, I didn't understand it when I was told about it. I said, okay, let me try this book.
I said, you've tried to read the book, and you're like, this is kind of boring and dumb.
Are we ever going to talk about sex? Are they ever going to get to it? And they finally get to it. And I said, why are people going crazy over this? My personal sex life is way crazier than that. But then, they get to that weird room. We don't have a weird room. Beat each other with different things and tie each other up with God knows what. But you don't have to have that. And if that's their wild and weird fetish that they have to have sex, that is the lie.
It's totally lie. And I even remember watching the movie, and I was like, what's all the fuss about?
Yeah.
This is...
because for the second one, you're like, you're gonna make me watch that.
even the scenes where they have there's the room and there's all the stuff and everything. Even that, I'm like, I mean, this is kind of boring and dumb. Like, well, this is not.
Bro walks in a pair of jeans with no shirt.
Okay, that's a typical day. I mean, you take your shirt off, you change clothes, you may give your wife a little sneak peek or something like that. I mean, what is the excitement in that? That's nothing. It's nothing. So it all comes from trust. And those are the little things. So those are the things that create little sparks. And that's where we get the excitement from, the little dopamine hit as we have those little sparks. But what I know is that unstable relationship, those ignite sparks, but stable relationships is what has fire. And the fire lasts. And the fire stays there. And the fire is good.
It doesn't burn out.
No, not at all. So
you keep kindling that fire.
You keep kindling that fire, and it just burns and burns and burns and gets hotter and hotter and hotter. So let's talk about why trust changes the whole thing. So believe it or not, I know this seems boring and lame. The truth is, trust is what increases sexual satisfaction. There was a study done by the Journal of Sex Research and Archives of Sexual Behavior. Yes, those are real things. But they show a strong correlation between relationship trust and sexual satisfaction. That emotional intimacy often ranks higher than physical attraction and long-term fulfillment. And I will say that's 100% true. We've talked a lot about physical attraction. And I agree, physical attraction is important. You need to have that with each other. But emotional intimacy is what helps carry that further.
Give me an example.
Just being able to be vulnerable enough to share who you really are, to have that emotional connection with somebody opens up the door to so many other things. Mm-hmm. And if you can't trust each other with your emotions, if you can't be vulnerable with each other, you're never going to be able to be vulnerable with each other or trust each other physically or mentally or any other area of your life. When you hold back emotionally, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
So if there's not, even any kind of sex, there's some type of emotional attachment.
Yes. I mean, the whole premise of the whole idea of just hooking up with people and, it's just sex. That's all it is. I'm sorry. You can't have just sex. It always comes with an emotional attachment somewhere. You may not think so, but somewhere along the line, there's an emotional attachment. It was created that way. It's how it's created. There's no way to potentially change that. Yes, a lot of people will think, it's just sex. It's not a big deal. I'm just hooking up. It's just a friend with benefits. There's no emotions there. Yeah, there are. There always is. And it's exciting to begin with, sure, but that's not what creates stability or that long-term connection that we are so, so, so desperate for. Mm-hmm. Second thing does, trust increases the willingness to explore.
I agree with that.
Why do you agree with that?
Because if I don't trust you, I'm not going to let you do anything. I mean, if I don't trust somebody, I don't even want them in my house.
It's true.
So if I'm not, I fully trust you. I don't think you're going to do something to me willingly or malicious to hurt me.
Very true. And there takes a lot of trust.
Yes.
For that to be able to happen. 2019 study found that couples with honest, open communication rooted in trust, hey, we've talked about that once or twice, I think, are significantly more likely to try new things, express desires, and report a higher satisfaction.
Sounds like the test kitchen.
Sounds just like the test kitchen, that sex menu we've talked about so many times, but trust increases that. You know, when we talked about Bridgerton sex and the boringness of that, and women are so hot and heavy over it, thinking this is incredible, how hot and amazing. It just shows me, okay, there's no willingness to explore that with your spouse.
You have to watch that.
You have to watch that. And if that's what gets you there, great, let that be it. But express that to your husband.
What do you mean if that gets you there? Great.
If that's what you want, that's your desire.
As your sex life.
As yours.
Okay.
I bet there's a huge percentage of women who are watching that, who are desiring that, who are not expressing that to their husbands. Don't have a clue. Their husbands think that she just lays there and lets me do it once a month. That is all she wants, so that's all I'm going to get. That's all I'm going to take.
Once a month.
That's most common for most people. So if you want that,
I'm going to look up stats on this now.
You've got to be able to have that willingness to explore. Adventure it's about permission. And when you trust someone, you give them permission to be able to do that. Number 3, while you look that up, trust also lowers anxiety. And this is a big one because it'll show people who are securely attached. They have trust. They're more relaxed during intimacy. They're more present. They're more open for experimentation. But here's the thing. People who are anxious, who don't fully trust somebody, they will avoid things. They're much more self-conscious about themselves. It's mostly performance driven. They're less exploratory. They're not turning on the lights. They're not expressing themselves. They're not making noises. They're not doing anything. And ultimately, if your brain feels unsafe, your body will shut down. We may not think that, but if our brains are saying, no, we're not going to open ourselves up to be able to experience that physically. I feel like you have found a stat that you want to share.
A sad stat.
Hit us with it.
This is from Mind Body Green. Body Green.
And what did you find?
This was research done in 2023.
Okay.
So it's not that out of date.
2 to 3 years old is all.
Research indicates that married couples have sex on average 2 to 3 times a month.
Twice a month. 2 to 3 times a month. That is horribly sad. It's not at all what it's supposed to be about. Does it indicate as to reasons?
Ooh.
I'd be interested.
Okay. Data shows that 25% of couples have sex once a week.
Okay.
While 19% have sex 2 to 3 times per month, and 17% have sex once a month. Wait, once a week and then once a month.
Once a week isn't enough, y'all. And if this is you, if you fall into this category and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm just another stat. It can change. It can get better. What'd you find?
Age.
Okay.
Younger couples under 40 tend to have sex more often, averaging 1 to 2 times per week or more.
That's good.
While those over 60 have sex once or twice a month.
So the older they're getting, the worse it's getting. Well, that may be a deep dive for another conversation for another day.
They're defining the definition of normal for sex, the sex life. If a couple is satisfied with their sex life, that frequency is normal for them, regardless of age.
I can get that.
I mean, I can see where there's medical stuff going on where can't have sex, or there's some type of injury, there's been an accident. But even the Bible tells us if you're going to restrain from having sex, do it for a short period of time and come back to it.
Yes. Short period.
Because it is not good.
It's not good at all. We're human beings and we're wired for that. And ultimately, that's where people get stuck. So I want to talk about that for just a second as to why your sex life gets stuck. The biggest reason we see the desires drop, the frequency decrease, and ultimately the trust weaken is because it can just become routine. It's just something I have to do, and you become disconnected, and this is just another thing to put on the calendar and just another one of the duties that I have to do as a married person, is I've got to satisfy my husband, or I got to have sex with my wife. Let me just do it and get on with it so I can go on with my day.
Okay, here's factors affecting the frequency, kind of playing off of what you're saying here. The frequency of sex in a marriage often decreases over time due to various factors, including stress and fatigue, hormonal changes, medications or medication side effects, relationship dynamics, and satisfaction. Research suggests that the most fulfilled couples are those who have sex at a frequency that is satisfying to both partners, rather than trying to meet a specific societal average.
Yes. Both partners must agree to what that's going to look like. And I would be willing to bet that most people, if you're not open and honest, and there's not the trust there, you're not aligned with your frequency and what the true satisfaction is about that. Some other things that kill the trust. One is unresolved conflict. Maybe something happened, and because we're scared to talk, we're scared to open up, and we're scared to express what's going on with us.
You're scared to trust your spouse.
Resentment will eventually begin to build, and then that, of course, is going to lower desire, because you're looking at your spouse, you're thinking, you doggone son of a low life, nothing. How could you? You're not going to desire someone for that. Obviously, emotional distance will do that. Mm-hmm. It will. It just drives the desire down. Secrecy is a big thing about this. Hiding our phones, not letting your spouse know what's going on, the change in behaviors. This idea of feeling judged potentially is another thing that can just really drive down the trust that you have between people.
I found a 2026 type of survey.
Okay.
If ads would stop popping up.
Well, while the ads stop, one thing I wanted to share was relationship studies have shown that over 60% of couples report feeling like roommates at some stage in their marriage. Over half have felt like roommates before, and I'd be willing to bet a lot of those people stay in that roommate stage, which is not at all where you can drive this whatsoever.
I couldn't imagine being a roommate.
No.
I had roommates in college.
Yeah, and I don't want a roommate again.
I didn't want to have anything to do with those roommates, sexually.
No.
Of course. They're roommates.
Exactly. You don't desire that. So ultimately, whenever you find yourself in this rut and you find like you can't get together sexually and the desires are not the same, ultimately,
do those desires start to be for somebody else?
It could be, because this is a need that we have.
Yeah.
And this need has to be met. But ultimately, you don't need new moves. You need a safer relationship. So let's talk a few things real quickly of how to rebuild or begin building trust with one another. And this goes back to what we talk about so often, radical honesty. Like, I am going to
no judgments, communication.
I am going to be honest to a fault, where I'm going to say exactly what I think, exactly what I feel, right or wrong, but I'm going to express exactly where I am in this moment, no matter what it is. If it's something that is sexual in nature or something that's not, something that's happened to you at work or something that happened between you and your spouse or you and the kids, being just completely upfront and honest about it, and know that you can do that without being attacked in return.
I've always been that way about everything. Not with just our relationship in general. Most of the time, I don't get any pushback or feedback, mostly because people don't know how to, most men anyways, are very intimidated by a female who knows what she wants and gets it, knows how to get it, takes care of it, and does it. Not that I can't live without you. I just get things done.
You do. And when you go and say, when I want something, I know what I want. I know how to get it. I know what to say. I know what to do to be able to get it. And if I want it, I'm going to get it. And I'll be honest, that scares men to death.
It scares a lot of people to death. And it comes off when people don't understand how, I guess, people like me are wired when we just, it's not that we don't have a filter, and it's not that we're not thinking things through when we say things. It's, we have no reason to sugarcoat anything. And it comes off as a very assertive, for females, they're called witches, but not a witch.
Witches with
it
a
rhymes
B.
with witch.
Yes.
A female dog.
There you go.
But it doesn't matter to me. I'm not one that I've just experienced empathy at 42 years old.
Finally, after so many years.
I still don't like it. But having experienced that, I do see where what I feel like I'm just talking to someone is interpreted as I'm talking down to them, or they don't understand why I'm talking to them that way. Especially with the younger generation. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm. And I think this could go for a lot of young couples.
Yes.
A lot of young couples need to learn this idea of being radically honest with everything.
It's not that I'm trying to be intimidating. I'm not trying to be assertive. I am literally just making a statement.
Then you're being honest. And usually if someone's being honest with you and it hurts your feelings, we usually needed to hear it. We don't like it in the beginning, but the more we think about it and the more we sit on it, we're like, yeah, you know what? They're probably right. And the same goes for a husband and a wife.
Yes.
Having those conversations. Your spouse may say something to you that you don't necessarily like, and you may get mad, and you may blow up at them for just a moment, but you'll come back and think, man, they might be right about that.
Those words are bitter coming out.
They are, which leads me to number 2, to go along with radical honesty, is to eliminate shame responses. They go hand in hand with each other, where if your spouse tells you something, you don't shame them or react negatively to whatever it is that they had to say. This takes us to when we talk about sex, this takes us to the test kitchen. Our rules are hard and fast. If it is not hurting, physically, emotionally, mentally, you or your spouse, and there's no one else coming in the bedroom, it's on.
All I'm saying right now is forgetting Sarah Marshall, the newly married couple that have never had sex before, and they're on their honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
If God were a city planner, why does he put the playground next to
the sewage department? They're exploring.
They're exploring.
But at least they're talking about that. In a way, he's talking about it with someone else. But
right.
Still.
He's getting out. But then I really feel like they say, just go for it. And then she whispers something to him, and he says, you would do that for me? No. God put our mouths on our face for a reason.
No. But yeah, explore it. Have fun with it. Mm-hmm. And that's where this shame response comes from. If your spouse comes to you with something that you think, man, that's weird, don't shame them for it.
Read this book, Song of Solomon.
Yeah. Read it, because there's some stuff in there. But let them come to you with whatever, and make up whatever your rules are your rules, and make sure that they're well known. But don't have a laundry list of different rules.
No.
Otherwise, you're going to be stuck to boring Bridgerton type sex, and nobody wants that.
I don't know, baby. Some people really might want that.
Well, you're missing everything else if that's what you want. But maybe that'll take you somewhere. But eliminate those shame responses. Let them in, and then you talk about it after. Like, hey, this worked, this didn't. This was
or talk about it in the moment.
Yes, like, oh, nope, not here. Oh, yeah, there. Talk about it. Be vocal about it. Let your body do the talking for you at times if you need to. But to eliminate those, because if honesty gets punished, it will shut down forever. And it will disappear, and they will never be honest with you again. The third one, which I think is so key, which men, you need to be listening to this. Ladies, if you're listening to this, make sure your husband, hears this part. Build emotional connection outside of the bedroom. Men, if you want to do it in there, if you want to go wild and crazy, it starts long before you ever get in the bedroom.
Agreed.
Long before. Emotional intimacy is the primary driver for sexual desires for strong, stable, long-term relationships.
Okay, the men that are listening right now are going, okay, Powers, I hear what you're saying, but how am I supposed to do this?
Why don't you tell them? You're a woman. You know what you want.
Yeah, but I'm the one who's able to tell you, I like this, I like that.
Exactly.
So how did you make that emotional connection?
I've learned the things that turn you on.
Well, yeah.
I've learned the things that you desire. I've learned what this idea of emotional intimacy is to you. I've learned the things that get you to the point of when you are in the bedroom. And I work on those all the time, and not for the sake of getting to have sex. That's a result of it, and it's amazing, but you don't do those things for that. You do those things because you love your spouse. And these are the things that they desire. Love language is the biggest things, but this is what you desire. And we'll talk about it, and I've learned what those are. I will lean heavily into what those are, and the same is true for you and me. You know what I like, what I enjoy, and you will lean heavily into that. And it starts long before you ever get to the bedroom. And man, if you're missing this part, you are never going to get to the bedroom.
Right. And it's not just hey, let's have we need to have a talk.
No, don't do it that way.
Ever.
Don't do it that way.
Because then she's going to be like, what? And then when you start spewing words of emotional nonsense and somehow working sex into that conversation, no female is going to pay any attention.
No.
At all. They're going to shut you out. He is just literally just saying that we need to talk because he wants to have sex, and he's telling me what he thinks I want in sex. No. You're never going to get sex then.
It's going to become the routine, boring stuff.
If it isn't already.
And chances are it is. So men, learn what the love language is. Learn what turns your wife on. And do that not for the sake of having sex. Do that because you love her. Because you want her to feel desired. You want her to feel wanted. Make sure she knows how much you want her. And I promise you will reap the rewards of that. There's no way around that.
Put her on a pedestal.
Yes, put her on a pedestal. Majorly. It works.
It does.
Listen, men, it works. Lastly, create a safe space for exploration.
Okay.
Allow it to be okay to explore things. Have fun with each other. Go back to the test kitchen. Don't shame for what your spouse may be into.
Right.
Lean
Just because you
it.
might not be into it doesn't mean they're not.
Nope.
And that doesn't mean you can't satisfy what they would like. As long as it's not hurting you, them, and you're not bringing anybody in.
Go for it.
Why does it matter?
Listen, if he wants...
Nobody else is in there with you judging you, so...
Go nuts. No one else ever has to know about this.
No.
This is between you two, and this is something special
That's
that you two...
That's where the trust comes in.
Yes. Knowing that, hey, I can trust him. I can trust her.
He's not going to go tell all of his buddies about this weird thing that we started doing in the bed and make them do it so we're not crazy.
Yes. I know he's not going to go bragging to his friends if I do this thing. Mm-hmm. I know she's not going to go tell her girlfriends about this thing that I did that I was uncomfortable with, but I let her be a part of it and let her do. I know she's not going to do that and embarrass me because it can get embarrassing. I mean, you are butt naked. You're never more vulnerable than you are when you are with your spouse having sex. You're never more vulnerable. You're completely naked. You have nothing to cover yourself up. There's nothing more vulnerable than that.
That's why you have locks on doors.
That's why you have locks on doors. But you are. I mean, you're completely out in the open, completely vulnerable. You have to know that, hey, what happens in here isn't going to leave in here. You know, we aren't sharing everything that we do.
I know. When every time you're like, we're going to talk about sex, I'm like, we're not talking about what we do in sex.
Absolutely not.
That's
will never.
Nobody's business.
It's nobody's business what goes on. We will never share that with you, the audience. We'll never share that with friends. It's not going that place. It stays between you and I.
No fans only account, or what is it called?
No OnlyFans.
I said it backwards.
no OnlyFans whatsoever. That is never going to happen. It stays between you and me. And you know what? The reason why we're able to do those types of things, because we have full trust.
Yeah.
Full trust.
Complete trust.
So, radical honesty, no shame in your responses, outside of the bedroom, emotional connection, and create a safe space to go nuts, have fun, explore something you never thought about before, and just see what happens. And I guarantee you, it will build to something that you didn't know existed.
Oh, absolutely.
You will go from that once a month boring Bridgerton type sex. I'm sorry, Bridgerton. We've been just dragging you through the mud here. But you'll go from that to multiple times a week, things that you didn't think were possible.
You will make time for it.
Oh, you will absolutely make time for it.
If you don't think you have time, you will have time.
Because it's that fun. It's that good. It's something you can't get enough of. And you're both going to be on that same level together. To have the greatest sex you could ever possibly have, it all starts with fully trusting one another.
Agreed.
So here's the challenge for people.
Ooh.
Homework. If you do feel stuck, yes, homework. Homework in small group was always go home and have as much sex as you possibly can.
That was always our homework.
Always homework. Homework for
7-day challenge.
7-day challenge. Go for it. Do it. It can be great. But homework for people. If you do feel stuck, if you do feel like, man, it's boring, it's routine, it's the same thing over and over. There's no adventure here. There's no fun. There's no spiciness. There's none of all the stuff we talked about early on that we think it's all about. You will obtain every bit of that and more if you just lean into fully trusting one another. So if you do feel stuck, don't ask what's the next best thing or what are we missing or what's going on here. Ask yourself, honestly, where did we maybe stop trusting one another?
Ooh.
And start having...
Or why did we stop trusting one another?
Where and why did it happen? And when you begin to uncover that, you will open up a door into not just a great sex life, a better marriage. You'll be more connected. You'll be more on the same page. And you will have a marriage that you did not think was possible. It will blow your mind. It'll be out of this world. And people will look at the two of you together and be like, what's changed about them?
Sex.
Sex. Have lots of sex. Be adventurous with one another. And the ones who trust each other, I promise, you'll be like, oh.
Makes sense now.
That married AF people, they were onto something about that. They knew just a little bit about it. So what are you not saying to your spouse right now? Tell them. Tell them what it is.
I thought you were asking me.
Oh, no, I'm not asking you at all.
I think I tell you everything.
You tell me everything. So
even if you don't want to hear it.
There's your challenge, everybody. Go and do that, and I promise it will be worth it. Are you ready to get out of here? Do you have any final thoughts?
I love you.
I love you. Let's go. God, we love you, and we are so thankful we get to do this. Everything that we talk about is all created by you. Every last bit of it is something we are meant to experience and enjoy and do it the way that you created it to be done. And our prayer is that others will be able to experience that, to have a marriage out of this world, one that they never expected possible. And it all happens because of you. We pray people get closer to you as they get closer to one another, and they experience this life the way you created them to do it. We are so thankful for all that you've done, what you continue to do, and where you'll continue to take this to so people can hear it and just become stronger together. We love you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Play ball.